Air India is in the news once again, but for all the wrong reasons. In fact, of late, they have been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Now, the latest one is an incident where the flight had to go back carrying 300 passengers to Chicago after flying for around 4.5 to 5 hours, which means it was another 5-hour flight back to Chicago, because this was in Greenland when they were flying over Greenland that the decision was taken to fly back. So it was a 10-hour ordeal for over 300 passengers. And the reason behind this was that of the 12 toilets which are available on any aircraft, only 1 of them was working. 11 of them were clogged. And therefore, the passengers were in distress because all of them had to make the beeline to use that only one toilet, and one can understand what kind of chaos and discomfort it must have been for the passengers, which is why they were left with no option but to fly back. However, Air India says and claims that they've given them a complete refund of the air tickets. They can also reschedule their flights at no extra cost, and they've also been provided with an alternative accommodation. But once again, the services or lack of service on Air India has brought the airlines into focus. When the privatization had taken place, one of the main grounds on it was that it would improve the services of what was once a national carrier. It is believed that the private sector would ensure that better services would be provided, and a combination of Air Vistara and Air India would mean that the best of Tata service. But right from the word go, that certainly hasn't been the case. Just recently, we saw how Union Minister, Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan had complained about the fact that he was given a broken chair when he was sitting on the aircraft. The aircraft at that point of time had apologized. Again, recently, an 82-year-old woman was seen in the ICU because she was, according to her, denied a wheelchair facility, as a result of which she was injured. Air India, however, issued a clarification saying that this was not the case, but they provided all kind of assistance. But one incident after another, as far as Air India is concerned, and many of them, of course, now being taken up by politicians. For example, Priyanka Chaturvedi tweeted about Air India's latest gaffe by saying that one would have thought that their service would get better, but it's getting worse and worse. It once again has started to raise question mark over whether Air India can actually provide that kind of exemplary service which is normally associated with the Tatas. A lot of criticism is taking place about the fact that, first of all, disinterested staff, they are not even trained. The food quality also has dipped, and whether the seats are there, the renovation, all of that which has been promised has not taken place. In fact, some have begun to wonder whether there was any point of privatization, because when you privatize a national aircraft, it is believed that more than a government carrier, it's an independent or private one which can actually deliver the best service. That certainly doesn't seem to have been the case as far as Air India is concerned. However, Air India once again has offered an apology, but this apology makes no sense if these kind of incidents are repeated time and again. And once again, questions are being raised at what was the point of even going in for a privatization. Vistara's own performance was considered to be exemplary, but even their services now clubbed with Air India has further led to a dip. And this is a passenger service in which the passengers are completely distraught. Some of them said that they had used their miles, air miles, they were going on emergency services, they had weddings to attend. But because of the fact that the aircraft had to go back to Chicago, they have missed those dates. And naturally, they are understandably angry, but this could also result in a further fall as far as passenger bookings on Air India is concerned.